Our team coverage continues tonight with NBC 15's Colin Cahill.
LED lighted crosswalks were installed just last year, but as of today, if you want to cross a busy street just like this, you need to hit the button. But nothing happens. Ashley, it was a long wait for residents that made their way down here to the Mobile Cruise Terminal as they waited to get the second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. Now hiring signs and help needed signs paint the sides of our roads all across our area as businesses look everywhere they can think of to find new employees. With the current Safer at Home order now expired, we move into the Safer Apart health order, which puts more responsibility on businesses and the people of Alabama. After a 4-year-long process for this developmental piece of property behind me here, just along I-10 in South Mobile County, the project is almost ready to take off. Well, Darwin, we were just 2 days away from the statewide mask mandate being lifted, and this morning, Governor Kay Ivey rolled back even more guidelines and moved us into the Safer Apart order. No, it's not the WWE, but it is wrestling. And there's a lot going down on mats in Baldwin County. Greg, all day long we saw fans come by and pay their respects and spend a little time in Hammer and Hank's childhood home. Whether you own a cat or a big dog or a small dog, just like Ollie here, it's important to make sure that they are as comfortable as possible when you're celebrating tonight. Greg and Kim, it was a daring escape by a convicted felon and a familiar face. NBC 15 first introduced you to Jose Andres Rosado Ortiz nearly 2 years ago. He was caught on surveillance camera in February of 2019 outside an Eastern Shore home. At the time, there were a string of break-ins in Baldwin County, and investigators say Rosado Ortiz was the guy responsible. We were there when he was arrested. This is exclusive video that shows him handcuffed and taken to jail. Around 2:30 this morning, he escaped.
He exited the facility possibly by crawling over 2 areas of fencing.
Ortiz scaled 2 14-foot fences that surround the jail, but did not get away cleanly.
He became injured at some point in time. We did find some blood that was left in an area where he was last seen.
Ortiz was convicted of a felony for possession of a firearm as a convicted felon. He was set to serve a 15-year federal sentence plus an additional 20 years in state prison and was scheduled to be moved to a federal prison. But due to COVID-19 restrictions, he has remained in the Baldwin County Correction Center. That is until 2:30 this morning.
As we're currently undergoing a replumbing of the facility, so there's a lot of inmate movement. So he was in a dormitory style environment. And we believe that he was somehow able to bypass one of the doors.
The Baldwin County Sheriff's Office says that Rosado Ortiz was last seen wearing an orange jumpsuit and should not under any circumstances be approached. As to where he might be, the Sheriff's Office has no leads at this time.
And if we had 100% capacity, I feel like we'd be twice as busy as we were. The missing link right now is staff. People who want to work.
Jeremiah Matthews is the owner and head chef of Southwood Kitchen in Daphne, a very successful restaurant that's been open for 3 years. Yesterday, they made the difficult decision to now close 2 days a week, Sundays and Mondays, because they can't find enough people to work.
I have enough staff to run the restaurant 5 days a week, but to add that extra day requires, several more people, and we don't have the people, and I can't overwork the ones I have.
It's a problem many businesses around the area have, finding people who actually show up for work after an interview.
They'll show up for interviews. I've had a couple show up for work for 1 or 2 days, and then that's it. They don't come back.
The Biden administration has added $300 more per week to unemployment benefits. So business owners believe more people are staying home, collecting a check, and not going to work. Alabama state law states those collecting unemployment benefits must actively be looking for work and cannot turn down suitable employment. The Alabama Department of Labor tells NBC 15 News about 6,300 claimants had their benefits stopped because of potential non-compliance with searching for employment. And a whopping 23,235 claimants have been asked to repay benefits they were not entitled to since the pandemic began. So for now, employers have to find a way to survive until the current added benefits expire in September.
We're off 4 major holidays. We're closed. It's not typically in the restaurant business, but Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, that's one of the perks that we have.
Now, one restaurant owner tells me that just within the past few days, he's received unemployment benefit requests from the state of Alabama on 3 people that have never worked for him. These LED lighted crosswalks were installed just last year, but as of today, if you want to cross a busy street just like this, you need to hit the button. but nothing happens.
I'd rather get home than have to make a trip or a detour to a hospital because somebody wasn't paying attention.
The busy streets of downtown Fairhope often include cars, delivery trucks, and a heavy amount of foot traffic.
My wife's pushing the button and we're looking and nothing's happening. No lights are coming on. People here in Fairhope are very nice, and so they saw us standing at the crosswalk and they stopped both ways.
Others took it into their own hands. Numerous times today we saw people crossing the busy section street in Fairhope without looking, and sometimes not even in the crosswalks.
For us, that's a huge concern because somebody coming by may not realize you're going to cross the street, or if you step out from between two cars, you're hard to see.
The city of Fairhope installed the 2 LED lighted crosswalks last January and hopes to increase safer crossings for pedestrians.
The lighted ones I really like because even during the daytime they're really bright, they get your attention.
Due to a manufacturer issue with the lights and damage caused by a vehicle accident to one of the poles, they haven't worked for months now, putting the decision on drivers to slow down and stop for pedestrians.
Please don't think that that car is going to stop for you just because you're going to cross the roadway. In a crosswalk, the pedestrian does have the right of way.
There's the different texture of the brick, and they see the post on the side of the street, the signaling post. I think they automatically know they should slow down because it's a pedestrian area. So I still think they're safe, but I certainly think the lights add a whole new dynamic to that.
The Fairhope Police Department tells me that jaywalking citations can run as high as $100. That's including court costs. Meanwhile, the city of Fairhope expects to meet with contractors next week to discuss replacing or repairing these LED lights. From the 50-meter dash to the long toss, today's big event for the Baldwin County Public School System is one more step to getting back to normalcy.
New name, but the faces and players are the same.
The day started out the same, a torch run, a symbol that has been iconic with this event, and a banner parade for students from around the county.
In the years past, we've had it all the schools here in one day. Here we're splitting it. You know, we got so many feeder patterns here today. We'll have so many tomorrow. We felt like that was, you know, best practice.
The Baldwin County Special Education Spring Games returned after a year hiatus due to the pandemic.
First place!
Whether it was first, second, or third, just being out on the field was important enough for these competitors.
Good job.
Friendships made in the classroom were on full display today, with cheering sections from fellow students.
It makes them happy and just gives them a sense that, you know, they're not alone, and if they need anyone to talk to, they can. Plus, like, they're out here for a reason, just to have fun, make memories.
As for the favorite event for the competitors, well, it varied. Do you like to throw the softball?
Yeah.
Is that your favorite event?
Oh, yes. I wanted fastball for.
The Smiles field a day full of fun for all. Now, it might have a different name, but the Baldwin County Special Education Spring Games accomplished one goal, which was to give a group of special kids a day they'll never forget.
First, I thought maybe 30 minutes, and then it lingered on to an hour, and now we're at the 2-hour point.
Car after car sat still for more than 2 hours this morning at the Mobile Cruise Terminal. And we are not talking just about these cars, but these ones.
That's number 27, 127.
A train that spanned over 100 railroad cars stopped the process of vaccinations for almost 2 hours this morning.
The train was moving, so it was like, okay, cool, you know, it's going to keep on going. Then it started slowing down.
Most people we talked to would like to see a different location to handle these vaccinations.
I wish they would have had over at the Civic Center over there.
And after a 2.5-hour wait,
Hallelujah, the wait's over.
Full steam ahead. We're going to get this shot and we're going to get out of here.
To these residents, the wait was worth it to get this second shot.
If it wasn't for going to get the shot, we've been gone.
And a lot of my friends, I think I'm the only one out of the circle that actually taken the shot.
Now, CSX tells us the assembly of a coal train down the tracks caused the delay. Now, the train that was stuck here on these tracks had to wait until that train had cleared. Flowers lay at the front door of Hank Aaron's childhood home in remembrance of the Mobile legend, an icon that brought the sport to its feet during the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Today, fans from across the country paid their respects by visiting the home, from taking pictures out in front of the stadium to walking through the hallowed rooms that Aaron once ran through as a child.
He meant a lot to me and a lot of other baseball fans growing up.
Brian Dalby, a former professional baseball player himself and now part-time umpire, was here in Mobile on business, but felt compelled to stop by the childhood home. Dalby watched hundreds of Hank's home runs through his lifetime, but it was what Hank was off the field that left a lasting impact on his own career.
Well, he's just such an inspiration. I mean, he was an inspiration to everybody. I mean, with all he went through in his life and his career and the difficulties he faced, during his career and then after his career, he was just such a gentleman.
They don't make people like this anymore.
Gary Alford took the day to pay tribute by spending time in the home and around the grounds. A longtime Mets fan from Queens, New York, Alford remembers Aaron for his power and grace on the field.
Let me tell you, it was like you just see the momentum and you say, he getting ready to hit one. Or like when a lot of times they would throw at him and whatnot, you say, well, now watch this now.